Hey guys, I'm just setting up the Facebook live stream here. Give me one moment and then we'll dive right in. Okay. Boom, boom. Okay, let's go ahead and get started then. How's everybody doing today? Looks like we got a few people here, maybe some more rolling in. All right, so today what we're going to go over is we're going to go over the how it all kind of fits together. This isn't going to be the entire uh, PaidToday app, but what I mean by how it all fits together is just um, how it goes from your contacts from your website to either a booking form or contact form, how it goes into PaidToday, how you can use automations to place them into a pipeline, add tags to segment your clients, prospects and leads, take them through your deal flow, your sales process. If you have one set up. If you don't have one set up, this is a perfect opportunity to set that up. And I wanted to illustrate to you guys too that this process, what I'm going to show you, um, there are people out there using the PaidToday platform who are doing this for other companies, and their whole business is built on that. And some of them are making just doing it as a hustle. Managing stuff on the weekends and maybe a little bit during the week for maybe one business. Where there's some people who they manage the PaidToday business portion for some of their clients, and they're making a monthly income of anywhere from $3,000 to $7,000, just depending on the kind of deal they're doing and how they're packaging the PaidToday operation. So I just want to illustrate that to you guys. This is something that's not only for your business, but you could do for your clients to manage their deal flows as well. So with that said, let's get started. So I said I'll take you from the website here, and we're going to go yeah, sorry, then we got to look up the web page. It's been a minute. So we're going to go edit and booking. I think this is the one we want booking to. Okay, so this is the old booking widget. I'll update it real quick while I'm talking. So this whole deal flow here, um, it's going to be used to take your clients from either your website or even the portal. And if they're in the portal, they're all automatically going to be in your PaidToday contacts anyway. But it's going to take them from you run an ad, or maybe they just find you via search or via referral to your website, and they're going to submit like a booking form, for example. We'll use in this flow. And from there, they'll get entered as a contact automatically, and then we'll set up the automations. And I already have some pre-built, but I'll show you how they work. We'll use automations to place them into a pipeline and or to add tags to track the whole deal from start to finish. So if they, and we can see this is space kind of funny, but we'll see how it works here. Okay, so we have that, and let's get cracking. Okay, so I'm just going to show you some of the tags and the pipelines and the automations that I've set up, just so you can see kind of the configuration side of it. So first of all, let's take a look at tags, and we just have some basic tags. But the one I'm going to be interested in and showing you about is like just this book strategy session. And we can even say, let's just create another one real quick, and we'll go. That's for a little bit later down the deal flow. So we have book strategy session, accepted offer, right? So we got some basic ones in here, contacted us, purchased, and maybe these are just different segmented pieces. And we can see, like, for example, there's 6 contacts in here that have this tag. And if we actually just click this to view it, we can actually see who they are. And don't worry about any of the names; they're all fake. This isn't a demo deployment, so we can see, when they were added to it, and then also we can see if we click this, we can go into their client file, and then it'll open up into a new tab, and then you can poke around. You can look at their notes, or you can look at any actions that are added for them. So okay, so there's the tags. Pretty basic. It's just a tag that you're going to tag a client with to segment them, and we can do some more interesting things with this later. But for now, it's used for automations, and then just at a glance of their contact file to see what tags they have. And then the other thing we're going to look at is the pipelines. Okay, so this pipeline list view will show you the different pipelines that have been added to your PaidToday account. To your business, specifically your business. Um, and this is the one that we're going to be using in today's little showcase. So book strategy session pipeline, and we see it has 6 steps and there's 0 people in it. We're just going to open it up. And so here's our, say we want to shorten this name, all you do is click up here, book strategy session. I'm just going to change it a little bit so you can see. Just click OK, it updates the name. No big deal there. So these are the different steps. Each little board is its own step in this process, in this pipeline. This could be a sales process. You could use this for a work process as well. So for example, once they accept the job, you can have like, got initial terms, got assets, working on site, got client feedback, et cetera. However many steps there are in one of your actual project workflows. But for this purpose, we're going to use it for kind of our sales and our initial onboarding. So we can say we have booked appointment, missed canceled appointment. And so the reason why there's 2, or I'm sorry, appointment completed. The reason why there's 2 kind of statuses here is because for my business, I want to track people that booked the appointment and then also completed the appointment or had it. Whereas you might not care about that, but for me, I want to track who didn't show up or who canceled and never reschedule. And then after they've moved on from after we've had the strategy session, the appointment, I send out the offer. And then here's another split as well. I want to see offer rejected, how many rejected, and how many accepted. Okay, and there's a little scroll bar here at the bottom if you have more steps. And actually what I'm going to do beyond this is I'm going to add a couple more. And so down at the bottom, we see this new step. All we do is type the step in that we want. And we're going to see, maybe after they accept, there's another appointment that needs to be set. And this would be maybe where you talk about the more specifics of the details of the job, where you get any assets that you need for your stuff. And you can also, let's break this down a little bit farther. So let's do, I guess we can include this. So in this offer sent, in my business, what I'm considering this as, this is my terms of service. This is the scope of kind of my work, and these are also my rates. If you wanted to, you could actually break this down into 2 steps where it's offer and then also your quote. If you get enough details to where you know what the quote's going to be, you can add that as a step as well, and then you can have quote accepted or rejected, or negotiating. We're going to keep it pretty simple, so we're just going to leave this as it is here. So we can see there's 7 steps, and it goes from the booked appointment, kind of basically until they're a customer at the very start of their project. So we're just going to leave that like that, save details, and then I'm going to show you the automations. Now the automations kind of ties all this together. And we're going to use this book strategy session automation, and we can see it's enabled, the green light, and we can see it's enabled up here as well. If you turn it off, using this, it means no matter what happens, nobody's going to go into this and it's not going to add anybody to a pipeline. It won't add anybody to tags via this specific automation. But we're just going to turn it back on so we can use it. And we can say this one's pretty simple so far. This green bar up here, this means it's a trigger. And what triggers are how they get into the automation. What happens that they go into this automation where all the actions run, where all the steps of this automation run. So for example, on this one, um, I named it booking form, and that's just the step title. You could title ASDF or whatever you want it, but I'm just going to leave it as book strat session, right? And that what that means is they've booked a strategy session. So what I did for this is all I did is I hit plus trigger and I chose booking form. Now there's different triggers that can happen to throw them into this automation, right? If they're just a general new contact, if they've completed an order via maybe your portal, you can have a specific tag when they're added to a tag, or a tag is added to their contact that it throws them in this automation. But for me, I just chose booking form. And then I chose a specific booking configuration that I have. And I'm going to use, say, for example, the strategy session one. Now, if you have multiple booking forms that you want to trigger this automation, you would just add another one. I'm going to call this second appointment booked. We'll add that, but I'm going to delete it. So you can have multiple booking configurations kick off this automation if you want it. For us, we're not going to worry about that one. We're specifically looking at a specific page that we have that's using this booking configuration, the strategy session booking configuration that we have. So that we know this landing page only basically has this and a navigation back to home. And so if they've booked this, we know where they came from. We kind of know how they got there because maybe I'm running an ad specifically to that page and there's no links on my homepage that go to that page. So we know how they got there. And we know if they're in this automation, they had to have gotten here by booking this specific, using this specific configuration. And then after that, these white ones are actions. These are what actually happen once they're in the automation. So the first one we have set up, we just titled it add book strategy tag. And all it does is it's adding a tag. It's adding the book strategy session tag to the contact that gets thrown in this automation. The next one here is we have add to booking onboard pipeline. And then all we're doing is we're adding them to the pipeline that we had, the book strategy session pipeline. And we're adding them to the first step, the booked appointment. Because they booked an appointment, we want to throw them in that specific step of that automation. And we can move them along through that pipeline after they're in there. And we're actually going to add, two more real quick, I think. So in the actions here, and like I said, the actions are the things that run once the contact is in the pipeline. We're going to add an action and we're just going to add a contact action. Now, if you recall, contact actions are just, it's a small to-do item that's attached to a contact that has a due date and an owner. And on your homepage and on the contact actions report and inside the contact file, they're displayed so that you always know if you check it like in the morning when you come in or maybe every other day or something like that, you can really stay on top of the client interactions that you need to take care of. And this could be something internal for your business, like finish the quote for John Doe, to follow up with Jane Smith about you know I sent out the quote a week ago, just follow up with her about that. It can range from anything from internal to external, but it's associated with a specific client. So with that in mind, we're just going to add, like I said, add a new action, add a new contact action, and we're going to put follow up about the quote. And we're just going to copy that. We're going to use the same action name. This is the actual contact action that'll go into the client file. And owner, we're going to set ourselves. I'm signed in as Claudia right here, by the way. And the wait days, we're just going to go plus 3 days. Save step. And sorry about this. I got a phone call. The line there, took it out. Okay, so we're going to actually add another contact action. So when they get kicked into this automation, it's going to add a tag, add them to a specific pipeline. It's going to add this contact action to their file, and we're actually going to add another one. And we're going to say maybe gather assets. And this is getting ahead of ourselves because maybe they didn't accept the quote, but we're still going to add this contact action to them. We're going to add it to us, and this time we're going to go plus 11 days. And these wait days, these are always relative to when they come into the pipeline. So for example, if someone comes in today, there will be a contact action due 11 days from now assigned to me to gather the assets. If someone booked the strategy session tomorrow and got kicked into this pipeline, it'll be 11 days from tomorrow, so 12 days from now. So just so you can see how that works. And yeah, okay. So this automation to me looks good right now. At least it's a good jumping off point. And so what we have is a basic automation. It's going to add a tag, add them to a pipeline, and add a couple contact actions to them. Now, let's see this thing in action. So if you remember, the trigger here is using this specific booking configuration, which we already have set up. And on our web page, on our this is a test page, by the way. This is why it looks so funny. But what we're actually going to do is this pulled in the booking widget. This is the exact booking configuration that we had set up that's going to kick off this automation. So let's see. Let's just pretend we're the client. We're navigating the page, and we hit this booking, and we say, "Oh, you know what? I am interested. I want to learn more about the perceptive interior design, what they can do for me." Let's click the 16th, and let's just say 9:30. That sounds good. And we're just going to confirm. And here, I'm going to enter a new name. Let's do we'll do a Seinfeld character here. And so we can see there's a special question down here too. On our booking config, we set up a custom booking question. You can have as many as you want, or you don't have to have any more than a name and email. But we want to know as they come in what kind of design job they're looking to have done. And so we'll just say commercial, and we'll schedule the event. It's going in, and if you heard a ding, if you heard my actual computer system sounds, there's a ding because there's a notification that just came in that I got a new contact. So here's the event, 45 minutes, Wednesday, June 16th. By the way, an email will go out to both parties, to you and also to the contact. As long as they put in their email correctly, they'll receive it, and it'll have the details of the meeting as well. And if they actually open it, there's a little thing that they can hit, and it should just add it to their Google Calendar if they want also. And then there's one right here also that they can use. Okay, so that's booked, right? We're going to come back here. And first of all, we're going to take a look at our contacts real quick. And we're going to go to contacts. We can see Cosmo Kramer got added. Here he is right here. And we can see a little notification bell. I don't know if this is pushed out live yet. We have some, since it is development, there are a couple newer things, right? We're always working. And so we can see it's new. And I think this just pulls the last 24 or 48 hours. So we click that, and we notice right away there's more information than Cosmo had entered. So for example, he put in his name, he put in his email, and he put in that booking question. He answered that, but look at the tag. So he got this book strategy session tag automatically added. We can see he's also in this specific automation, and that's because we used the trigger. The trigger was submitting that specific booking form, which he did from our website. So he's already in this automation. If I go to notes, we can see here's the appointment booked, and we can see on the form he chose commercial as design type. And we need to format this a little bit better, it looks like, but you can still see the information there. Here's a tag, so we can see the tag got added, and that's from the automation. If we look at the actions, so 3 days from now, here's an action due for me to follow up with Cosmo about that quote. Um, Obviously, the date isn't super relevant, or rather, the action itself isn't super relevant because he scheduled for the 16th. So this wouldn't even be relevant until after that strategy session. But you can see how you can add actions to follow up, etc., um, based on the automation that they're getting put into. We can also see gather assets, which is 11 days out from now. Okay, so there's the contact file. I'm just going to show you the activity real quick. There's a little one next to it. It just means something has happened, whether it's a payment that's come in, a new contact has been added. In this case, it was a new contact. It was Cosmo. And if we just mark it as red, we'll notice that both here and in the upper right, the little red unread indicator will go away. And if I actually click this, you can mark it as unread again as well, but we're just going to mark it as red. Okay, let's take a look at I'll show you the tags first again. So tags, here's our book strategy session tag. Here's one person in it. And if we open it, surprise, surprise, Cosmo Kramer sitting in here. We can see when he was added, right, a couple minutes ago. And so we can see Cosmo got added to that tag, or rather that tag got added to Cosmo. In our pipelines, book strategy session pipeline, Cosmo's added here. Now, the way this will actually happen is, I'm going to actually open up the calendar in a new tab so you can see that as well. If I look at the calendar and I'm going to filter by month, we can see on here, here's follow up about quote in 3 days from now. Like I said, it's not that relevant due to the time that he booked, but we can actually set the filter. We'll turn off contact actions, or you can turn them back on, and we can see when they're going to be due from a calendar view, right? But we're mostly interested in the appointments. And so here, right here is the appointment with Cosmo. If we open it, we can see Cosmo. We can click this, go to his contact file from here. Design type commercial, and we can see the time that it's from, and the duration of it is 45 minutes, and we can see it on the calendar there. The reason why I wanted to show you that there is because here, if we were to fast forward a week and this session happened, for Cosmo here, all we're going to say is he completed the appointment. Oops, you have to drag it toward the top. Completed the appointment, and then maybe later that day, even we can move him to the offer sent if we send him an offer. And like I said, the offer could range anything from a quote to my terms of service to an agreement for actually starting the project, whatever your deal flow is. And then once you get remittance on that back, once you get the response on that back, then you would move them to the rejected or accepted column. And then if accepted, schedule the next appointment. And so this keeps everything from a very visual, very easy to read way. A high level view of this specific process. Furthermore, from here, and we're just going to add a couple more people in here so you can see them. And if you click, sorry, to show you that again, I kind of did it fast. If you click the little down arrow, there's options for this step, and you can edit the name of it or you can delete it, but we're just going to add a contact. And so let's just add, we're going to add Billy Mumphrey, and you just start typing their name and you can add them. So we're just going to add a couple more here. We're going to add Merlin Maxwell, and we're going to add Alba Powers. Now, so maybe Alba, we just manually added her, but maybe she actually is all the way over here. Maybe Billy is actually also in the offer sent column. And maybe Merlin just booked the appointment. It hasn't happened yet. Maybe he booked it for 2 weeks out. And so he's going to be sitting here for a minute until that appointment happens, or he misses it or cancels. And so from here, we can see, oh, we have one person here. And so you can see the health of your pipeline, how many people you have in each stage, and then really be able to, on a consistent basis, see how your deal flow is going. Um, Something that I haven't talked about also is the opportunities, and I'll touch on that in a minute. But opportunities will give you the ability to kind of see from a revenue standpoint how healthy your business has, or rather how healthy your closing process is. So what I mean by that is, so for instance, if your average job size is, say, and I'm just going to throw out a round number, say $10,000, in this particular pipeline as of right now, there's basically $40,000 in opportunity sitting here. Now, if one of them rejects the offer or misses the appointment, that could obviously affect it, and so then maybe there's only 30,000. But as of right now, where these people are sitting, there's technically, in that scenario, $40,000 of opportunity of work in our pipeline. And like I said, I'll show you the opportunities next. So to move people, all you do is click and drag, move them along. And to remove somebody, so say Billy Mumfrey here, he actually ends up rejecting the offer. You can move him here and you can leave him here if you'd like, or if you just want to remove him, you can actually just remove that contact from that step and the pipeline altogether. Now, here's the other interesting thing you can do. You can have another automation set up, right, that is specifically for people that rejected your offer. So maybe they thought the price was too high. Maybe they thought they weren't getting enough value. Maybe they just never got back to you, and you sent out, 5 emails and called them 3 times over a period of 2 months, and they just never got back to you, and you consider that a rejection, and you're going to drop them from that pipeline. You can have another automation set up that will add a specific tag to them, that will add them to perhaps another pipeline even. So if they rejected your offer, you can have a pipeline set up for anybody who's rejected your offer, and you can have steps indicating, why they rejected it, or a mystery column if they just never got back to you. And so you can really start to see the holes that you might think about closing or tightening or improving, in terms of your deal flow, and based on the reasons why people are falling off at certain points. So, for example, you could even have another automation set up for missed canceled, and maybe in that pipeline you're just going to follow up with them later rather than ask a reason why they didn't like your service. So that's just an example of one pipeline, how it can actually start segmenting not only your clients by deal flow, but also your refine your sales process so that you can have a more solid grasp, of where any holes are in your sales pipeline. Okay, and then we'll just show you we'll show you the automation real quick as well. And so we have one person in this particular automation. Remember, the other people in that pipeline we had just manually added. And so we can see down here in the step, if we view the step, we can just see Cosmo in here. So to recap, what we did is we had a booking configuration, we set up a pipeline, we added 1 or 2 tags, and we added an automation that runs when someone submits this exact booking form. When we refresh the page, this exact booking form. So when someone hits this page, they submit, and as soon as that happens, we do a chain of things that happen automatically that indicate to us where they are in the sales process, We can segment them via tags. We can add contact actions for ourselves, and I'll show you what that looks like too. Um, Contact actions for ourselves as a reminder to do something in the future, or maybe even today. You can set it for 0 days and it'll be due today. Right? The contact actions. And then from that point, we can actually manage them and work them through the deal flow as it happens. So they have the appointment, you send out the offer, um, and then they accept and they become a customer, and then life's happy. And like I said, I'll touch on the opportunities. So these opportunities, and actually, I'm going to go to the dashboard here. And so this is pretty stark right now, but the basically what this is the opportunity value broken down by status of your contact. So for example, in our little demo business here, there's 9 prospects, 26 leads, and 3 customers. Um, Out of those prospects, there's opportunities that have been added that equal $10,000, 300 or $10,300, and there's been a total of 38 prospects to come through. And so our conversion to leads is 76% because we have 26 people that have converted to a lead or higher. There's no opportunities in this leads, and then we can see our conversion percentage to a customer. So if we're only converting 10% of our leads to customers, and assuming that to us a lead means someone who's booked an appointment, we might want to look at that and say, what's going on here? We have good conversion from prospects to leads, but we have kind of a poor conversion from leads to actual customers. And so if you just click leads, it'll show you all of the people that are marked as a lead status here. Okay, so that's how everything fits together here. Let's see if there's any questions or comments. Okay, it doesn't look like there are any so far. So, like I said, this is something that you can do for your business to track your either sales process. You could use a work process even for your the as the for the pipeline. The automations is just an easy way for a bunch of things to either be scheduled or to be categorized for the client without you having to manually do it for everybody who comes in. And then the um, the automations will work in tandem with specific pieces of your pay today, such as a booking form, a contact form, um, basically any of these triggers. And those can be used to throw them into an automation, which is going to run all that other stuff. Basically, the triggers are the starters, and then the actions are what actually happens, right? But in terms of how those 3 or 4 pieces fit together, um, that's going to be one of the most useful combination of features in Pay Today. And we can really see how everything's meant to be integrated under one house. So you don't have maybe automations living in another service, or your pipelines or your contacts exist in a different service, which, to be honest, a lot of small and solo businesses make work, but it's not optimized. Things will inevitably get lost and fall through the cracks. You're going to potentially miss deals because something's um, not tracked, or you forget, or you only log into this one every day and the other one you log in once a week and something gets missed. And so this is one of the big strengths of Pay Today, is bringing everything together, making it all cohesive. It's all linked to the contact or to the specific piece of information that it needs to be, such as an automation to a pipeline, to a tag, to a contact, etc. And as I showed you on the calendar, it's all linked up there also. If I go to the month view, here's your contact action, here's the strategy session. Um, and so, like I also iterated at the beginning, this can be something that you can do for your customers. So for example, even if you're running video, doing commercial campaigns, you're running ads for them, you're shooting video, you are doing some of those kind of marketing services. Some things, something that you can do is you can pair those services with PaidToday administration, setting up maybe even its configuration, setting up their booking configurations, setting up their automations, setting up their pipelines, installing a pipeline for them. Maybe if they don't have a deal flow, installing a pipeline for them that has proven to work for you or other businesses in terms of a deal flow and tracking all of that so that everything, so at least everything is solidified in terms of where they know where any fall off is, what's working, what's not. And because it's really about progress, right? Perfection is kind of a myth. um, and anywhere something can be improved even by a small tweak, um, should result in more conversions, more sales, bigger sales, and ultimately grow and help build any business, including your clients' businesses. And since you're already perhaps doing some of these things, just not in a formalized pay today way, um, it may be a great opportunity for services you can offer your clients where you're giving them a massive amount of value in the pay today package, and you're getting compensated for that as well. So, just a thought. Some other people are doing it. It's worked out well. If you have any questions about that or how anything fits together, just please reach out to us, post in the group, shoot us an email, send us smoke signals, um, and we'll get back to you. So let me check the questions one more time. It doesn't look like we have too many. So hopefully that means everything was clear and you guys kind of got everything. And I'll see you guys in a couple of weeks, and we'll go over some more pay today stuff. All right, thanks. Bye.